This is Steve Zeltzer with Workweek. I'm with Gabriel Prawl. He's the past president of ILWU Local 52, president of the A. Philip Randolph chapter in Seattle, and is going to talk to us about what happened today in the ports in Seattle. So welcome to our show, Gabe. It's heating up, and I understand that West Coast dock workers have taken off today on the entire West Coast, and there was an action apparently in Seattle that led to this. Why don't you talk about what's going on and the conditions that longshore workers face?
And when I say against our odds, if we remind ourselves of COVID-19 in 2020 and the extreme need for essential workers to continue working to make sure that the supplies enter the ports and reach the stores, and even to the necessity of people in the country. And these are sacrifices that workers did. Many of them died in the process, even members of my own local 52. You know, and but now we've been about a year now without a contract, and we're still fighting to get a fair contract. But and I was under the impression everything was okay, but now it seems like the employees want us to work as normal as we've been working for, I could say, from the beginning of the past contract. But they don't want to resolve in giving us what we deserve as workers to keep up with the rise in the economy and the changes that we've been seeing in the price of food and gas and all this stuff like that. They want to not only not pay us enough, but they don't want to give us no amount of that we deserve to keep up with the economy and the change of what's going on in this country. And today, workers are working safe, doing their jobs, and employers decide to fire everyone. We started last night, and for whatever excuse they want to use, it doesn't make any sense, because workers have been working without a contract for about a year now in June. And
the health and safety conditions on the docks are very dangerous. Dock workers are killed for speed. They speed up. It seems like this is a real problem of health and safety for dock workers.
But the reality is dock workers have been trying to do everything to please the employees while they've been in constant negotiation. They have done more than they're supposed to do, I should say. And the employees refuse to be generous to the workers by compensating them for the hard work they do, you know. And I believe that workers have gone above and beyond the past contract in the manner of how they work. And now we are following the contract and working safe, not violating any safety rules. And employers took that as a way to attack the workers. So not only they don't want to pay the workers the right thing, not only they don't want to negotiate in good faith, but they want to take away everything that we have worked so hard to gain, and not acknowledging the fact that they made a skyrocket profit in the past 3 years during the pandemic.
And at the same time, the profits of these shipping companies have been massive during the COVID thing. They were making a lot of money. Isn't that the case?
That's exactly the case. So there's no reason why workers shouldn't be getting compensated properly, getting raised like they should to keep up with their cost of living, They should be getting all the benefit. They need to be healthy on the job. And I think that there's no reason why the employers don't negotiate in good faith with the union.
And the issue of automation and technology, right now there are 11,000 writers going on strike. The Screen Actors Guild are taking a strike vote. They want to use AI to destroy their conditions, to replace them. I understand it's the same thing in the longshore industry, that they want to use AI to get rid of dock workers. Is that true?
That's correct. Automation has been a big problem for workers because it eliminates jobs, and there's no way to compensate the workers. In fact, it eliminates workers. I mean, this is happening in every field that you can think on in almost all industry. And AI is a very dangerous thing. Very dangerous for workers. Very dangerous for humanity as a whole, because now this can turn against the whole country, the whole world. And artificial intelligence is always could be a danger to humanity as a whole.
And it seems that the bosses, the capitalists, want to bring this in. They don't want any regulation of it, and they want to use it to increase their profits. But if it results in millions of workers, and Goldman Sachs said 300 million workers may lose their job, what is the future of workers if the bosses are in control of this technology and it's not benefiting workers?
You know, Steve, this has to make some sense. It has to make some sense because the employers make money when people can purchase their product. If there's no workers to earn money, how can they purchase the product? So it doesn't make sense, the idea that they have to eliminate workers, but they want to use artificial intelligence to do the work. Yeah, you don't have to pay the artificial intelligence, but all the workers going to buy your product. All these people going to be purchasing the food, autos, basic things that a person needs. In able to afford that, you have to have a job. If you don't have a job, then the products stay on the shelf. So it doesn't make any kind of sense to eliminate workers, but still produce products.
Since you don't have a contract, you are on strike, but I understand that the management, the employers have used the fact that you don't have a contract to get rid of ILWU labor, bring in other unions. Is that true?
Well, it's always been a fight. It's always going to be a fight where we have that, where they put workers against workers. This is the old tools of the bosses. They put workers against workers, but at the end, none of us workers benefit from it. And that's why workers need to come together, and we need to not raid each other jurisdiction, because we only serving the bosses when we do that, you know, and they enjoy it because they pit us against each other, and that's how they get rid of all of us. Because today they come for me, tomorrow they coming for you.
And that was one of the slogans of the ILWU: an injury to one is an injury to all. And we're coming up onto Juneteenth. It seems like they want to continue slavery, these racist attacks, the laws passed in Florida against immigrants, taking out history books that talk about this history of slavery in this country. It seems like there are forces in this country, billionaire forces, Elon Musk and others, who want to go back to slavery, or they want a slave kind of condition. What is the general situation workers are facing in this?
Juneteenth is a great day for Black to celebrate. It's also a day for workers to celebrate. But let's put this in the right perspective. We got a Juneteenth federal holiday, but this is just a legislative win. It's just a legislative win for people and workers. But slavery has not ended in this country. It has not. As long as people are not making livable wages, as long as people are homeless, as long as people are not having the healthcare and the basic needs for a human being, we're still in slavery. Many of our workers are still living in slavery. And the fact that they're trying to take us back, where they want to use child labor, using 13 years old kids to work in factory, they're bringing it back again. We fought that in the past, and here we are going back to this. So this is the type of mentality that we're dealing with right now. A mentality of bosses and CEOs that do not have no concern for any worker, more, even less by our kids. They are directing us right back to years of struggle to change things in this country, and we have to come together as workers. And I'm talking about every worker. That's why we call it on Juneteenth. We want every worker to come out and join together and show the force. We have to show our force as workers and the power that we have to change things. We have been sleeping too long and not exercising our power, and it's time to bring it up, because there's workers on strike in many places in this country, and we need to bring all those workers together with organized labor.
And the history of general strikes in the United States, the last one was in 1946 in Oakland. There was a general strike. There haven't been general strikes since that time. The ILWU was formed out of a general strike in 1934. There was a West Coast maritime strike, and workers were killed in Seattle and San Francisco. 2 workers were killed. Do you think general strike movement is coming back in this country? Because it seems like many of these strikes, as you were talking about, are around the same issues.
I think that's what it's going to take to change. I think that's what it's going to take to change. We got to go back to the basic. We have a blueprint to make it happen, and we need to pull that blueprint out and exercise the tools and the organizing skill that it's going to take to make this change. Because right now, workers being fighting alone by themselves, and they don't have to. We have to make it clear. Workers in this era should not have to work and fight alone. Labor needs to come in strong, and we need to show the power that we have to change things. Can you imagine if workers take a day off all around the world? That will show a powerful example of the power that labor has.
And you also have a political crisis in this country. The unions have been supporting the Democrats. Biden just signed a deal to force people to work for food in this country, and also the whole issue of a political alternative, a working class political alternative, with the fact that no one's running against Biden. All you have is debates and propaganda from the Republicans. What do you think about the failure of the unions in this country to have their own working class party?
Well, we all know, only workers will be able to understand the struggle of workers. And that's why we need elected officials that can come out of the working class. Because that's how we're able to deal with the interests of the working class. But, the reality, and that's why Dr. King, before he was, and it's probably had to do with why he was assassinated, that he was calling for the Poor People March. He was calling about guaranteed income for working people, guaranteed income to make sure people can able to survive. And that's what we need in this country, not go work for barely anything that's not even going to help you pay your rent. You can barely survive with it. No, people need to have a livable wage, a guaranteed livable wage. That's what we need. That's what we should be calling for in this country. A livable wage where nobody has to be homeless or go hungry. Our kids should not be going hungry in this country. This is one of the most richest country in the world, and you got it's more homelessness in this country than any other place in the world. It doesn't make sense.
Well, it seems like the billionaires are getting richer, and working people in this country are the ones that are suffering. The Amazon workers in Seattle recently had an action. It seems like working people are getting more and more fed up, and this action by the ILWU shutting down the coast, I think, is a statement.
That's correct. Question to the labor movement is, what are you going to do about it? That's the question.
Okay, well, I want to thank you very much for joining us. We've been talking with Gabriel Prawl, past president of ILWU Local 52 in Seattle and president of A. Philip Randolph Institute in Seattle, about the work stoppage action by Longshore at Seattle and throughout the West Coast ports. So thanks for joining us on Work.
All right, Steve.